Welcome. I am marketing expert and business coach Melissa Kellogg-Lewick, and this is the Doing Business Like a Woman podcast, where we are exploring and teaching you how women are reinventing the way business is done and money is made to help you create greater impact and financial freedom, one business at a time. Okay, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being with me today. I have a special guest here, and I'm really excited to get to introduce her to you. Liz Amenta is a client of mine, and she is one of our featured students from the 90-day Marketing Accelerator. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. Liz Amenta is a leadership and executive coach who helps high-performing women entrepreneurs lead with clarity, confidence, and alignment without burning themselves out in the process. After spending years as a CPA in the high-pressure world of public accounting, Liz saw firsthand how driven professionals can become trapped in constant urgency, overwork, and reactive leadership patterns. Today, she combines her business acumen with energy-based leadership coaching to help women leaders break through communication barriers, shift out of overwhelm, and create teams that actually support their growth. Liz is passionate about helping women move from doing everything themselves to leading in a way that feels sustainable, strategic, and fully aligned with the business and life they're building. Welcome, Liz. I'm so glad you're here today.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah. So, what I would love to start out is just having you tell us a little bit about your story, how you got into this work, how you started your business, because I know that so much of that colors the way that you coach as well.
Uh, I think I've always been inclined to helping others or seeing things from a different lens. And so through my career as a CPA, I spent a lot of it doing tax, but also working with a team and developing that team. And as I progressed in my career, more of my time kind of shifted to supporting my team and how can I help them show up the best. So it was like my daytime job was supporting the team, and then my nighttime job was doing the tax returns. And I got to a point where I just enjoyed helping everyone else overcome those challenges, think about things differently, work with clients differently. And I wanted to do that more than the other stuff. And so then I just branched out and was like, how can I help all leaders function at a higher level and get out of that survival mode and just feel better and more purposeful in their work?
Yeah. So, what I've noticed from you and working with you is you talk a lot about the deeper issues of leadership, right? Such as over responsibility and scaling sustainably and solving team stress, time pressure, and being in constant reaction. A lot of these surface issues that leaders and managers experience, you really talk about the deeper work that's involved there. So tell me more about that. Why is that? How did you come to study the deeper issues of leadership?
Yeah, I think in deciding to be a coach and then going through coach training is really where I was presented with a new idea of what are all the underlying things that
Yeah.
are happening, and not just with a team, but like you yourself. And it's called energy leadership. And it's really how coming to a greater awareness of how you show up and how your energy can then impact everyone else's energy around you. And in kind of the framework I've developed over the years, which is leading self, leading others, and leading teams, it has to start with leading self. And so getting to those, what are the viewpoints that you've developed through your entire life from birth until now? No judgment, right or wrong, but they've shaped you. And what's supporting what you want and what's getting in the way of what you want.
Yeah, I love that. So good. So I know you work a lot with women entrepreneurs, and many of them feel, and I can relate to this, we feel like we're carrying everything, right?
Yeah.
So why do you think that pattern shows up so often, and how do you like to shift that?
Yeah. And I've experienced this too, going from being in corporate to an entrepreneur as well. It's a struggle when you're trying to grow and build something on your own. And when you want to have your own business, you're an entrepreneur, you have this vision, and there's a lot of ownership and like high responsibility that we innately take on. And
Mm.
that's how we grew our business. And the patterns that worked then that helped us start the business and grow it, they get us to a certain point, but they don't work when we try to scale, when we want more, when we want to grow our business, because then everything is still falling on us. And so the pattern that shows up is just we get tied to, we have to do everything, everything falls on our shoulders. We are stuck in this like decision fatigue, but also we have to keep making decisions to keep it going. And so the shift I've worked through and I help others is moving from how can I get more done to where am I still operating as the only doer or like the only
Mm.
doer? Like, where is there another set of support? And whether you have a team or you have a VA or other contractors that you can get to support you, it's shifting from that doer, the sole doer, to more of a leader.
Yeah. Yeah. So how have you seen that change in your clients? Is Can you give us an example or a story? Because sometimes that helps.
Yeah, let's see. I think I think a lot of times some of the clients I've worked with recently who are strong doers, that's they got themselves where they are, which is fantastic. And it's really hard to let go. It's really hard to, even when you start delegating, it's still really hard to let go because you feel this weight and pressure. And sometimes just the simple task of picking like one task, one priority, clarifying the end result, and then fully delegating it with the
Mm.
authority, with everything, and just getting one little tiny thing off your plate can alleviate so much. And it, in the clients recently, it seems really small of that, what's one thing you don't need to be doing, but it ends up relieving so much weight that they didn't even realize they were carrying. It could be
Mm.
something as simple as preparing an invoice for a client or returning some phone calls or preparing our marketing materials for the next
Yeah.
launch we're doing. And but just that one, pick one little thing and it can open up so much space.
Yeah. And how do you see that affects the team that it gets delegated to? Because there's that aspect too, right?
Absolutely. The energy you show up with as the leader is what your team is going to absorb. And so if
Mm.
you show up as frantic and stressed out and, oh my goodness, I'm carrying the weight of everything, your team is going to show up that way and they're going to immediately feel the pressure. And when you're in this frantic state of, I have to get everything done, I don't have time, we don't, as leaders, as entrepreneurs, clearly define what we need someone else to do to support
Hmm.
us. And that lack of clarity leaves our team like trying to figure it out, not really understanding what they're supposed to be doing. And then you have to go back and fix it. And so it becomes this big circle. But if we just take a breath and calm ourselves for a moment, like
Yeah.
pause for 5 seconds and speak a little bit more with intentionality instead of like overwhelm, then our team will take it and they'll execute, they'll go.
Mm. So as you were saying that, I'm thinking, I wonder if like when we see that kind of frantic energy or things not working in our team, is that kind of a mirror of the energy that we're putting out? So sometimes it's easier to recognize someone else showing up frantic and then be like, oh, is it because I'm frantic?
Yeah, they say somewhere your kids are like a reflection of you. I like to say, depending how your animal responds, it's usually in relation to how their owner responds to things.
Yeah.
The same is true of your team. If you show up with calm and confidence, then they feel calm and confident that we'll get through. If you show
Mm.
up with frantic and stress, then they're going to take on that and that's what you're going to get back. And so, yes, it's a great way of like a way to identify maybe am I showing up as stressed because my team seems really stressed.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and self-awareness is really the key to starting any sort of shift. You have to just take a step back and look at what, is me being stressed all the time moving this business forward? Is it moving
Mm,
this project forward? Is it moving my team forward? Or does it feel like we're in this spiral of stress and doom and it
circling the
will never
drain all the
end?
time.
Yeah, exactly.
So is that where you start in your work? Is that awareness piece?
Yeah, we always start with awareness. I always tell clients in coaching, you can do this yourself, right? You could go and research and read books and find all the things. This isn't necessarily rocket science, but it might take you a while because you're also trying to live your life and do your thing. And so, how I'm able to expedite results or get down to the nitty gritty of things is through that awareness piece first. So, we create a snapshot of awareness. How do you view the world today? What is your lens that you put on? What triggers you into stress? What pops you back out of stress, and where maybe are you showing up in a certain way that you didn't realize. And through that awareness, we can then shift. We then have the power of choice to choose, is that serving us? And it might be, but maybe it's not. And then now you are at the power of choice to choose how you want to shift that energy. How do you want to communicate with others? How do you want to approach a project or a looming deadline that supports you better? And yeah, that awareness is critical for anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see how that really can get you out of that because I think as entrepreneurs, especially when we're first getting started, we're just like doing all the things, taking all the action, taking care of all the things. But we get to a point where we're just in that constant reaction rather than creating a business with intention. And
Yes.
I see that so often around marketing too. And so I think that awareness piece is so critical.
Yeah, and I will say, along with the lines of that, it's something I've learned or at least grown aware to over the past 6 weeks into the new year of just that, even from the marketing lens, my own marketing lens of all the different things I've felt and thought I needed to do, was supposed to do, wanted to do around marketing and fighting with all of them. There's this internal conflict, and then all of a sudden coming to this kind of clarity of, okay, no, this is what I'm choosing my marketing to be. This is how I'm choosing to show up and how I'm choosing to send the messages that I want to send instead of
Mhm.
all these other shoulds and have tos. And so even my own awareness, it shifts
Yeah,
constantly. And that's just something I was reflecting on the other day of just how clear I feel around the marketing stuff now.
I love that. Yeah. And marketing in a way that you want to. So it's not, yeah, like you said, not the shoulds and all that stuff.
Yeah, not all the shoulds, not all the have tos. I've gone through the shoulds, the have tos, the want tos, the don't want tos, but will do anyways, the chat GPTs and all the things. And I feel like this is how I end up operating. I have to go through all of the loops to then find like the happy medium. Like I like to see both extremes and then I'll come back to the middle. Like
Yeah,
I can't just pick the middle.
I know. I'm the same way, totally. So when you take clients through that awareness piece and the intention piece, and even for you in your own experience, then how does that change your energy? Since you do talk about energy leadership, how does that change your energy that you approach your leadership or your marketing, whatever?
Yeah, the awareness gives you the power of choice, right? You've taken a step back and you've looked in from the outside. And so you're no longer looking through a tiny little telescope. You've now expanded that lens to a much wider viewpoint and you can see lots of other things. And how it transpires, and this has also come to light recently from feedback from the group program I just finished, in confidence and clarity. Like it's not even about a specific task, it's about knowing how do I want to show up to that task? How do I want to feel about that task? How do I want to engage with that task? And the tangible is that you're getting things done in a more effective way, but the underlying is just that confidence and feeling like a clear direction.
Yeah, I love that because that intention, that awareness and the intention, the choice comes from inside of you. And so, yeah, you can have confidence behind this is what I want, this is how I want to show up, rather than trying to figure out what does everyone else, how does everyone else want me to show up? There's a lot of ambiguity and lack of clarity. But if you can, yeah, you can stand confidently when you know what your own intention is.
It's such a weird thing. Like you would think we would be more aligned with our own whole person, but we do get really caught up in what does this person need? What does this person think? What does this person want? How can I make sure it's all working together? And by doing that in so many different ways, it becomes more of a control and
Mm,
in a force. You're trying to force everything instead of it being with ease. When you can come back and kind of align with, okay, who is the core of me and how do I want to show up? Whether it's in a challenging situation or not, then you can approach anything with that confidence, knowing that you're staying true to you and not bending for all these different potential opinions that may or may not even exist.
yeah. Yeah. And I think we don't have to discount opinions, right? Like we can take all of that into account. But I think we have to trust ourselves enough to know, okay, I've taken all of the opinions into account, and still I'm coming back to me and what feels most true to me, what feels like the next best step for me.
It keeps you in choice. You get to choose.
Mm,
Do you want to
yeah,
take that in and reflect on it further? Is there something there? Or you've heard it, you've thought about it, but you are going to discard it because it doesn't feel aligned. But that's the choice in it. You have a choice.
yeah, yeah. I love that. So good.
Yeah.
So, what do you see as some of the biggest challenges for women entrepreneurs as they start building a team?
This is in line with the opposite of the confidence and clarity. I find that the two most common themes that come up, and this is again come up recently in my group coaching program with some amazing women entrepreneurs, that letting go of control and the communication gaps. And the
Mm,
letting go of control is hard, first of all, because you started it. Everything is in your brain. You have all of the knowledge from day one until now. And now you are trying to shift that over to somebody else. And how can you shift all of what's in your head over?
yeah,
And you know all the details as the owner. The team can never kind of move as fast initially, which then results back into I'll just do it myself. It's faster. And then it creates this tension between speed of getting it done and empowerment of your team. And so that definitely is one of the biggest struggles I see, which is totally understandable, right? This is your baby, you've built this.
yeah,
And with the communication gaps, it's along the same lines because you have it all in your head, but now you have to verbalize what do you need from someone else. You have to teach them how specifically it needs to be done or the preferences that you have or any other nuances that they need to know. And a lot of times, the a leader thinks that they're being clear because to them it's clear, but to someone who's coming from the outside in, it's not, and they're trying to follow instructions, but they end up don't. It creates this misalignment, this miscommunication, and which can slow the progress of building that team.
yeah.
So those are like the top two. And then the only other one I'll reference is this energy leakage. Even when, as an entrepreneur, we start to delegate off, as we tend to mentally carry everything still.
Oh,
And
interesting.
maybe we've let go of control physically, but we're still carrying all the weight mentally, and that can drain our energy even when we're not realizing it. It's that unconscious. And so it's normal, it's just scaling pains. It's
Yeah.
it's how do you shift from the sole person or a couple people to relying on more people.
Yeah. Yeah, I can relate to this. I always thought I would be a bad boss, so I never wanted to have a team.
Hmm. That's
And
interesting.
yeah, but of course, now I know like it's a skill you can learn, right?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I even question kind of people will say, oh, you were born with this skill or this gift. And sure, some things come more naturally to some people versus others. It's true of everything. Look at the Winter Olympics right now. These athletes are incredible, but we have the ability to shift and change if we want to, and we just
Mm,
have to put the work in.
yeah.
But it's interesting that you say that because we get it in our mind like, oh, I would be a bad boss. And I would even challenge you, like, where did that come from? Like, where did what experience did you have that was like, no, I don't want to be in charge?
I think it's from being a big sister and getting in a
Oh,
lot of trouble as a big sister.
you got in trouble a lot. I feel you. It's a big sister thing.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Yeah. My siblings would bug me and I would lash out at them. And yeah, it never turned out pretty.
I find as the oldest, I was always the one in trouble, even if the younger ones were the ones instigating, but I should know better.
Yeah. 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 So that's interesting. Like that whole leadership paradigm probably stems from that.
Yeah,
But it can really stunt our growth if we don't, like you said, gain awareness of that. Because over the last 10 years of really wanting to grow my business, I had to address that thinking, right? And
yeah.
really make the choice and have the desire to have a team and to ask for help and allow people to help.
Yeah. And that's hard. That's hard allowing people to help. As entrepreneurs, as strong driven women, we're not used to asking for help. We're used to being the ones that are asked to help, and we
Yeah.
jump in freely a lot of times because it does come naturally. But then it's saying, okay, how is this skill and strength of mine getting in the way of this other thing I want? Yes,
Mm,
it's valuable in this component of my business, but it's getting in the way of this other component that is I've identified is critical to my business growth.
yeah, and that would
You can
be
separate them.
yeah, and identifying that would really be a powerful reason to work with a coach like you, right? That you can help identify.
Even just that identification, that awareness of where
Yeah.
did it come from. You can't undo awareness. Like I said this in a master class I did a few weeks ago. Awareness travels. You can't
Mm,
undo your awareness. You can't unlearn something you've learned. Like it's back there. You can pretend to ignore it, but it's still back there.
yeah. Yeah,
And
you can't
so
unsee it.
you can't unsee it. It's great though, because even if you're not ready for that big shift or you're not really sure what that means for you, that awareness will start to manifest itself. You'll start to notice more things and more things, and it will naturally evolve into where the universe is revolved around you and is pushing you in a direction, or you are in a stuck place and you're like, all right, I have to address this like inner tug now.
Yeah, that's powerful.
Yeah.
Really powerful. So, in talking about energy and leadership, what does that look like in action in real life for a founder, an entrepreneur?
Yeah. When I first learned about energy leadership, I was like, oh, we'll see how the woo woo and the crystals. And I have nothing against any of them, but coming from a very like rigid kind of public accounting environment, it was something new and different. And what I've learned and what I truly feel is that your energy, we're all made up of energy. Einstein proved this. We're all energy. How
Hmm.
you show up, your energy is how you show up in moments of pressure or decisions and communication. It's
Mm.
walking into a meeting already tense, your team tightens. It's sending a rushed Slack message, the team feels urgency. If you have calm clarity from the leader, then the team settles and executes. And so it's
Hmm.
really this presence that you bring, this energy, your overall state when you communicate anything. I can communicate something to a team 7 different ways, the exact same message in the exact same words, but with different energy, and it will ignite a very different response.
Wow.
And so it's a tangible thing. It may feel woo to some people, but it's a very tangible way of how you approach a situation.
Yeah.
And even just like small pauses before conversations, before reacting, paused so then you can respond. That's energy. That's shifting your energy or giving yourself a chance for your energy to, or for you to choose your energy instead of reacting and whatever your default response might have been.
Yeah, that's so good. I think I learned that in marriage and family therapy years ago.
Yep, it
Like count
is.
to 10 backwards before you say anything.
Yep, I used to work for one lady. I consulted and worked there, and I was like, "All right, you need to set all your emails on a 30-second delay so that way if you need to immediately delete because you fired off something really fast, give yourself the pause, give yourself the breath because when we hear a message, we don't necessarily get all the words right away. We're interpreting it. Give yourself the pause before you respond, and it'll be way more clear thinking. Let the cloud die down for a minute, let the fog clear,
Yeah. And
and
I would
then say,
imagine it takes some time when your clients do this work with you to create a new process for responding, right? Because it's easy to
absolutely.
just do that snap response, but you have to intentionally, like you said before, create
Yeah.
that.
It doesn't happen overnight. Like most people are like, oh, I didn't do it. And I'm like, it's fine. The way I kind of work through it is we need you to show up how you normally would for a week and just go back retroactively and reflect on, okay, what was the situation? How did I respond? What was the situation? That data creates additional awareness. And then from
Mm,
that data, we can say, okay, what could you have done differently here? How would you like to shift this? And then we just make the tiniest little shift for the next week and then track that data. Was that doable for you? What did you notice was coming up? And so all of it I just consider as data collection. I feel like you right now, you're like, let's data and evaluate, right? With your marketing. It's what we do
spreadsheet.
with your behaviors and how you show up. But then it gives us actual tangible information on what is triggering versus what allows you to feel like you have space, and we try to replicate the thing that you want. And so yeah, it doesn't happen overnight, and nor would I want it to. It might not be sustainable, but that's how we create sustainable change.
Yeah. 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 And it's possible, right?
Oh,
It's something you can do. It's possible. So tell me a little bit about some of the shifts that you've seen in your clients that have done this work with you.
I have one client I worked with. We always start with working on things that are happening in the office or like in the workplace. And in this particular case, it because you're at home more than at work, more or less, it shifted into how could we apply this to the conversations that were happening more regularly in the home front? And the shift that it over time kind of created was one, awareness of, oh, I see what's happening. Let me step back and let me see what's happening. Two, removing judgment from any conversation. Like, how can I see it without putting myself into it right now? And then that confidence to be able to pause and not feel like you need to jump in immediately, and in practicing it at home, just in those daily conversations with family, created like that faster transition, which then applied back to the office where the
Mm.
conversations were fewer. But it was this aha of, oh, I don't have to keep pushing my point to be heard. Let me stop and give space to hear someone else's point and then ask, okay, I'm going to share mine. What do you need? What kind of space do you need to then share what you want to say? And really, a lot of it is in that communication, that storyline. And so
Mhm.
that shift, I think, was impactful for her at home, but then also just translated back into the office of understanding where someone else might be coming from and that it's not all on you.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's so powerful that doing this work with you not only it affects all areas of life, you can use it in all the relationships that you have.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It really is. And so it's like you don't really, I don't really advertise, oh, this will fix all your relationships. But ultimately, it's this shift inside of you and feeling less wishy-washy when you have a conversation and more confident, not arrogant, not, oh, my point is more important, but confident in that, okay, I'm going to have my turn to speak, or I will, say the point that I want to make or ask the ask that I have, but it doesn't have to be the way I thought it had to be. It doesn't have to be a forceful, it doesn't have to be a begging, it doesn't have to be a, oh, I'm so sorry, I don't mean to bother you. You know what I mean? All the filters that we add to a simple request.
That's
So
interesting.
it's like removes all those other filters we've layered on.
Yeah, and I would think in its place is that aligned groundedness in that intention.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And one of the other things I'll say that I do with one-on-one, not in the group coaching, but one-on-one, what tends to come up because people are like, I don't really know exactly what it is. They just feel like off or just stuck. We do a values assessment as well. And I do it a little differently than I've done with a lot of other people, but I try to get my clients to look inward into what really matters, not what you think matters, but how do you define these things? What is that importance to you? And then in those conversations, you can recognize, oh, I was triggered because this challenged my integrity, and that's really important to me, or this challenged my commitment, and that's really important to me. And so it gives you that information so then over time, you can stop and pause and be like, okay, it challenged this. Doesn't mean that's what they're doing, but I understand why it's triggering to me. Okay, now how can I clarify?
Mm,
So that's just part of that whole alignment you mentioned.
yeah.
You're in a tune with yourself.
Yeah, and I would imagine the more you practice that awareness, the quicker it can come and the better you react to situations. And
Yes,
yeah.
yeah. It takes time, it takes practice, but that's what we do. We work through it, and I have to continue to practice, and
Yeah, absolutely. It's the work for all of us.
it certainly is. It's an
Okay, so
ever-changing world.
yes, for sure. And challenges and relationships, it's always changing. So
Yeah.
yeah, you're absolutely right. Awesome. So for a woman entrepreneur that's listening today that's feeling stretched thin, what's one small shift, something we can shift for her today that will really help her to lead more effectively?
I would say a small shift that you can make today is think about the things that you have to do that are on your to-do list and pick one of them that are the have to do's and look at it and gain clarity around what do you want out of this? What is the end, the outcome? Clarify that outcome and why is it important? See what it is like if you shift from saying I have to do this to I choose to do this because I know it supports my business. We have to do things because they support my business, but even in that space of have to or need to, there's drain there. There's, oh, I have to do this, I need to do this. You may still know the importance, but in looking at what is the outcome I need and how does it, really support this, find find your path to choosing that task, choosing that thing, and letting go or releasing the thing, the have to. And you can do it one small task at a time. But I find that's the shift that I've been making recently and I've seen in others is this have to
I
choose
love
your
that.
business.
Yeah, and you can feel the shift in the energy when you do that. That's just such a small but really powerful example.
Yeah. I try to catch myself when I'm like, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that. And it's not that I'm trying to say, oh, I think everyone else thinks I need to do this. I know what I need, but I want to do this. I
Yeah,
want to do these things. I'm choosing to do these things because they align with my goal. And
yeah.
if you come up against a task that doesn't align, then there's a sign that maybe it needs to be dropped down off the list.
So let's give an example. What comes up for me in the have to do list is taxes
Mhm.
or like preparing for taxes.
Yeah.
So how would you shift that? Like, I have to do my taxes.
It's interesting that you say that because there's the old adage, there's nothing more certain than death and taxes. And so it's very much a have to type of task, right?
Yeah.
But let's see, if it's a have to do my taxes, how can we shift it to choose to? Maybe it's I choose to prepare all of the documents because I want to see how my business is doing.
Mm.
Intrigued to see how income shifted from last year. I'm curious to see, how this is maybe a stretch, I understand, but like how this deduction shows up differently this year because tax laws change. Or maybe I know this is something that does have to be done, if we all do,
Yeah.
and I'm going to choose to prioritize it so that way it doesn't take up brain space and like for a long time, and I can open up that future brain space.
Yeah. I
So
love
even
that.
if you don't care about the taxes and the finances and you already know your numbers, but it can be, hey, I'm choosing to free up future space.
Yeah. I love that because how much of a drag is it to have to think about taxes all the way up until the deadline and not done them and then do the extension and then have to think about them for another 6 months? Been there,
Oh,
done
I
that. No,
know.
thank you.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
It's
And
a drag. It's a drag.
it's a drag and it's something we have to do, but we can also in that choose to set ourselves up for success and just get it done and not have to think about it anymore until next year. Or,
Absolutely. And I'd also challenge, because I'm being a former CPA,
yes.
or recovering CPA, what is it about taxes that people don't like, that you specifically don't like? As someone who's done
Mm,
a bazillion tax returns for other people, to me, it's just a simple task of putting in some data. But
yeah.
now on the business side of things, I'm like, oh, I got to go gather all my data. That's because I don't have my own books as organized as I'd like to. And so it's like back up that domino. Okay, how can I be more organized with my books to make this go easier? Or is it this pressure of what's the outcome going to be? Maybe there's some planning that you do before the end of the year so you have an idea, and then it's just data entry at that point. It's not this big mystery.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I love that. And some might even say that paying taxes is a really great success marker because that means you're making money.
It is. I have some tax clients that make a lot of money and their tax bills are six, sometimes seven figures is their tax bill. And do they want to pay that much money? No, but they recognize, hey, that I made money.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
a sign that I'm doing okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's that part of it too.
Yeah,
Cool. Thank you. This has been so interesting. And I just want to say for our listeners, that Liz is just one of the amazingly brilliant women that we have in the 90-day Marketing Accelerator. And so what we absolutely love doing in that space is taking brilliant women like this and helping them to get their message out into the world and impact more people and bring in more clients and serve more and help more leaders in your case. And what do you feel like has been a shift or a part of the 90-day marketing accelerator that's been impactful for you?
one of the big impactful things is just having the incubator, having this space. There's a little bit of an accountability to it, but it's having this space where I know is held open for me to work on my marketing, whatever that marketing challenge or opportunity or whatever I'm working on. And so that's huge. And I really enjoy that there's others in there and that there's this level of trust where we can share like the struggles we each have with marketing and what's the storyline we've been telling ourselves and what's getting in the way. And then just hearing other people's shifts, it just is really impactful in creating my own shift around marketing.
Nice, nice. So what do you feel has been one of your most impactful shifts?
This I think has been unexpected because I expected to come into this and work on something tangible, right? Oh, I need my email sequence for new people, or I need this thing ironed out. And it's certainly the place I can do that, but what's been unexpected is in getting clear on my voice, like where is my messaging even coming from? And yes, it's the processes and it's the, okay, what kind of social media do I want to do in emails and the tangible marketing. But
Mhm.
really, what's shaped or evolved in this is that underlying messaging. And I will say, having more clarity around like who I want to serve and how I want to serve them has made all the other stuff so much easier. I feel like last year I made it way harder than it needed to be with all the shoulds and the have tos and the want tos, and it's just been really nice feeling a sense of ease with it. Okay, marketing isn't all this challenging things I made it out to be.
I love that. That makes my heart so happy. I always want it to be simple for everybody. Yeah, because it can be, I think it's really fun, but we don't have to go that far, but just a little easier would be great.
Yes, ease. And you thinking it's fun then allows us to at least get part of the way there, right? From our
Mm,
whatever mindset we have around it, we can come closer to your mindset. Maybe not all the way yet, but over time.
I love that. So good. So, who do you think would benefit most from this program? Who would you recommend consider joining?
I think anyone, an entrepreneur or someone in an organization that is working on marketing in any way that has been trying different things and is feels a little scattered with it and maybe there's shiny object syndrome a little bit. I think this could be for them. I think also someone who's new and starting out is, yes, I hear all the noise around me and I don't know which noise to follow. So here's a space where you can create your own voice and not have to listen to all the other noise. And just someone who doesn't necessarily want to do it alone. I've tried all of it on my own. That's the entrepreneur way. We talked about that, right? We're
Yeah.
a one-man show, one-stop shop for a lot of things, but it's been really nice and just uplifting to work around others in the same space. Different challenges, but same topic. And it's just, I think it feels good to know you're not like alone in this.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Yeah. I think it really, that sense of camaraderie has been really powerful.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. Okay. So, final question. What would you tell someone that's on the fence about joining? Why should they just take the leap?
I would say what you will get out of it is well worth the investment. And and you said this to me before I signed up. Imagine where you could be in 90 days. And that drives me like, hey, it doesn't have to be a year from now, it doesn't have to be 5 years from now. Imagine what you could accomplish if you had some intentional focus for 90 days with some intentional guidance and support from an expert such as you and the group environment. It's well worth all of it. And whatever you're working on, you will come out with something that is more valuable at the end of it.
Awesome.
And so sign up.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Liz. Thank you so much for bringing your brilliance to our accelerator group as well as to this podcast and my audience. And I really admire the work that you're doing in the world. It's amazing. And I hope every leader or every person, because we're all leaders in some respect, especially the entrepreneurs, need to look you up. And in that spirit, tell us how we keep in touch with you, what's going on with you, and where we can follow you.
Yeah, I am mostly on Facebook and LinkedIn. You can search for me, Elizabeth. I think it's Elizabeth Amenta on LinkedIn. And but if you're not sure where to go, you can always just go to amentacoaching.com and you'll find all the different ways that we can connect and stay in touch. And I have a newsletter. I send out offers when I'm doing I have free master classes right now. And but amentacoaching.com will probably be the easiest, fastest way to find any of that.
Perfect. Okay. And we'll link up all of that in the show notes. So if folks are driving and they can't take notes, it'll all be there.
Yes.
But yeah, I definitely recommend you checking out her master classes and taking her up on one of those because they're amazing. And so thank you so much for being with us today. And I will see you in group very soon.
Yes, definitely. Thanks,
Thank
Melissa.
you.
Bye.
Hey, thank you for joining us for this amazing conversation. I hope that it was impactful for you. If you're interested in joining us in the 90-Day Marketing Accelerator, we will be opening up a new cohort. And so if you want to make marketing simpler for you, do it in a group setting with fellow women entrepreneurs and have fun doing it, I want you to join us. You can get all the information on my website, melissaandkellogg.com, or the link is in the show notes, and I'll see you there.